Well, it's a pleasure to be here today with two of my colleagues, Senator Batters and Senator Carignan. Senator Batters will outline the recommendations that's in our report. Senator Batters is a former practicing lawyer from the province of Saskatchewan. She was appointed a Queen's Counsel. I think she was, for years, the Chief of Staff to the Minister of Justice in that province. Is that correct?
Yes.
And thereafter appointed to the Senate and appointed to our Legal and Constitutional Affairs Committee, and also as chair of the Joint Committee on Regulations, Joint Committee of the House of Commons and the Senate. And of course, it's a pleasure to have Senator Carignan here. Everybody knows the omnipresent Senator Carignan, who is also a former litigator and a sometimes lecturer of law. And of course, in his position as the leader of Her Majesty's Loyal Opposition in the Senate, he from time to time contributes to delay in the Senate. But on this particular subject, he was the initial mover of the motion to have our standing committee deal with these excessive court delays across Canada. I want to also thank the Canadian Bar Association, especially Gayleen Schellenberg, who's here today, for the terrific work that she has done with Parliament on legislation over the years, her and her team with the Canadian Bar Association. And also, quite remarkable, and she presented before this committee on this subject of delays in the court system. Also, Ian Carter, who's here today, also presented before our committee, a great presentation together with Tony Paisana, also of the criminal justice section, who I believe represented the appellant in R.V. Jordan, which decision was brought down on July the 8th by the Supreme Court of Canada. And he actually predicted that this would be the new framework to replace what had already been in existence. Also, I'd like to thank the Criminal Lawyers Association, specifically Mr. Leo Russamano, and the Canadian Council of Criminal Defense Lawyers, the great William Trudell as chair, who presented to our committee. And we also had the Crown Councils across Canada, their organizations, the Canadian Association of Crown Councils. Rick Woodburn, the president, gave a great presentation to our committee on court delays, and the Ontario Crown Attorneys Association, Kate Matthews as the president. I would also like, in conclusion, to say a special thank you to judges who participated in our proceedings to date and in our future proceedings across Canada, who will be witnesses both publicly and in camera on problems associated with court delays. It's the first time I've seen in my 43 years in Parliament where judges have taken an active role and participating in this process, because the judges believe, as the Supreme Court of Canada believes, as Canadians believe, that we have a serious problem with court delays. The innocent are left in limbo. The persons who committed crimes are left unprosecuted, and Canadians are left frustrated. They are so frustrated that they condemn our court process. And those people who are involved in our court process, the police and the Crown attorneys, the courts themselves, the provincial legislatures, and the Parliament of Canada, have not been encouraged to correct these delays in our court system. They've not been encouraged. And they've not been encouraged to present the resources that are needed to correct these problems. So we hope that this preliminary report, this initial report, and our final report will provide the encouragement and the direction that's so badly needed to correct this problem that we have in our court system. So I call on Senator Batters now to outline what our recommendations are in this initial report.